bringing people to a common space is powerful. That space could be intellectual, it could be physical, it could be artistic. It humanizes everyone.
Theater really invites conversation, it invites different points of view, and I think we as a world need that, and I think we as a country deeply need that.
When theater does its job, it sort of hits you in your heart before it hits you in your mind.
It allows us to reflect on history, and then it also allows us to reflect on the future.
An unwavering beacon of light in the world of darkness.
And so that power, I was very intrigued by.
Historically, women in the theater, we have been the assistant. We have been often in fundraising, a lot of women in fundraising. We've had a lot of women in costume departments. Otherwise, it has been a completely male-run world.
And this is true in a lot of fields, that men get hired on their potential, women get hired on their experience. And so you end up in a real catch-22.
It can be hard in our industry as a woman to have the trust for someone to make a leap of faith and offer you the next opportunity, a full production, a production with more resources, or a leadership role when perhaps you don't look like the leaders they've met before.
Having done theater since I was a teenager, what I thought I could do and what I saw was performing. I didn't know that there were women directors, women artistic directors, women who were leading large initiatives.
Actually, this week, I was called as a reference for someone for an artistic director job. I spoke really well for the candidate. I said, what do you think is going to be her hurdle? And one of the things that they said was, well, it's her age, even though she's like in her mid-30s, has a kid. That theater 100 years ago was started by a single mother. Like, what is happening? I don't understand.
Was so often the type of artistic directors that we have seen in the past were really about these, that were sort of egocentric, and they were really rallied around the brand of the one leader.
I think men are more easily listened to. You know, I find that often I have to make my case more often about why I'm making the choice I make.
The energy in the room is different when it's a table full of women compared to when it's a table full of men. And whatever that is, I'm not saying it's better or worse, I'm just acknowledging that it does exist.
It is essential to the vitalization of theater to have diversity, and that's racial, ethnic, cultural, gender, ability, educational, your economic status, religious, political views. All of it is really needed.
The Bold Women's Leadership Circle is,
oh my goodness.
Oh my gosh.
Ooh, how much time you got? That's
it is a community of artistic directors and leaders.
Adventurous, innovative women.
Making change in our industry and elevating each other.
Creating the fiercest, most bold, courageous art that we possibly can.
Who also want to peel open the door and hold it wide open for the next generation.
It's invaluable.
It's incredible.
The Bold Women's Leadership Circle is my savior.
Long life, good health, and let the good times roll.
It was in 2017, I was asked by Eve Burton, the director of the Helen Gurley Brown Foundation, what would you do for women in theater? And it was so easy for me to come up with 100 ideas because I had come up in a theater career where I didn't have mentorship, I didn't think as a woman that I could be a leader. The idea was so fast about how to build a circle of human beings who open the door for other human beings. I wrote it out on a napkin at a dining room table, and within 6 months we were funded to begin the Bold Circle.
So if your heart is happy, you're coming from a place of truth, you're being layered in light and love, that's a beautiful thing.
Yes. Okay, I'll montage the napkin. Choose 5 women artistic directors. There weren't that many. Give them a grant each. As part of the grant, have that artistic director hire a woman to train to be an artistic director. Give them a good salary. Fund new works. And give us that next person who's going to take our jobs someday and teach them how to do it, how to play the game, how to do the business, how to do the art. We're really just replicating what was done for men forever.
really different about Bold is you're talking about artistic leadership from an organizational point of view and not only in the rehearsal room.
To be in the same room with Tinashe, with Susan, Maria, Nataki, and Christina, Sarah, Carol, these are leaders of what theater education looks like.
And although it's a mentorship program, I'm learning just as much from my colleagues as they ever are from me.
And now think of myself not as just in a learning capacity. Now I'm here to lead.
I believe that Bold is allowing the space to think about what else can theater be.
It is an incredibly innovative program because of the size of funding that our leaders are given. Women leaders are used to running the smaller institutions, usually with absolutely no funding provision. Each theater, when we started this program, received $250,000 a year.
Once I had those resources coming in, I was able to greenlight ideas that then became hugely successful and helped grow the theater that I was at, helped grow my own career, helped grow opportunities for other female-identified leaders.
We talk a lot about, the productions and what we can ultimately produce, but I think its biggest success are the humans, right? This network of female plus artists. Some of them have started at particular theaters and then branched out and had really successful careers.
It is not boastful to want to lead and believe that you can do it well. And so Bold, I think, helped me to see that with this room full of amazing women who are leading.
I think our generation is very different in terms of wanting a less hierarchical, more collective way of leading.
If we are in all these spaces, why can't we lead? Why can't we have a voice of leadership? Nothing is diminished by having female voices in the room. It is an enhancement. They just haven't existed in some of the public spaces where they are now. But a female voice has been here and it will continue to be here.
When we have those perspectives in the room, as we're season planning, as we're thinking about the arc of the theater, we're able to just represent so many more people's lived experiences in a way that is mindful and thoughtful and hopefully broadening what we're sharing with our audience and how we're sharing it.
You just need representation so we can all come together and figure out who else is missing.
Change is hard. To do something different, it requires a focus and a purpose.
We create opportunities for artists to help make meaning of the world for people.
This foundation is helping us survive and still innovate and still take risk. And we see a lot of other theaters not taking risk anymore.
Yeah, people ask me all the time when Bold is going to be expanding, because I think there's a lot of other theaters that would love to be part of this network.
When we talk about that downstream, it's also this sort of wide net that's being cast out that is fundamentally changing the way regional theaters are programming, the way that they are looking at their seasons, the way they're hiring, the way they're creating opportunities for other minorities. And I think that is what is going to start shifting culture and start growing community in a very particular way.
It seems radical, but it's also so simple, isn't it?